G'day everyone, it's your boy Jordan CS No here, and welcome back to another cringy ass video on the dark web. How's everybody been? You guys good? I don't know, did you see the new Batman movie? Today's video is about a Sony fanboy surgeon. Yes, they really do just give medical degrees to anyone. Who legit whipped out their phone and filmed in a surgery room and doxed themselves and one of their patients, all to own the Xbots on Twitter. This sounds fake, but trust me, it's real. Actually, you probably know about it already, because let's just face it, I'm pretty late to this topic, and I know for a fact that most of you don't exclusively watch my channel for news on this stuff. Not to mention there's an entire Vice article about this. But in case you aren't familiar with the entire situation, I'm going to try and quickly recap the entire situation for you. If you don't care, you already know everything, skip to this time code. But otherwise, let's begin. So, it all began with PS Vortex or Shira Vera posting this on Twitter. Here I am, after inducing anesthesia, intubating, and putting a patient on controlled mechanical ventilation for a laparoscopic cholecystectomy case. I think that's how you say it, in OR. Slandering my identity, profession, cause you Xbots can't argue facts. Saving lives, my job. Console wars, my hobby. And there's a video of him below where he's basically in the surgery room, his colleagues are behind him, they're actually doing their jobs and doing surgery while he's filming his video. He basically doxes himself and the patient. And now obviously the response to this wasn't very good. I mean, people were calling him out on Twitter, making YouTube videos about it. There's people review bombing the hospital that he works at. But after this happened, he took down the tweet and issued several bullshit apologies, in which he tried to argue that he had consent from the patient to film this all, right? Which I don't believe one bit, and I'll talk about that later. But people didn't really care. People saw right through this and were basically, still going after him, and so it's basically led to him deleting his Twitter account now. And we haven't heard from him since. Now, what are my thoughts on this? Well, I think regardless of whether or not he got permission from the patient to share this information, it was still a dumb idea, because firstly, you're not supposed to film in the surgery room. I think that's what it's called. I'm not too sure, but you're not supposed to film in there, mainly because your phone could be contaminated and potentially contaminate the surgery room, which would be very bad. Like, this is common sense, and you're telling me a trained surgeon wouldn't know this. And on the topic of him getting the patient's permission to share this, I think this is bullshit. Number one, because he wouldn't have deleted the original video when it was pointed out to him if he had permission. And secondly, how do you think he asked them whether or not he could share their information? Like, do you think he just went up to the patient before the surgery and was like, hey yo, so before I perform this very important surgery on you, do you mind if I share all your private information on the internet so that I can own all these Xbots? Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, but I don't trust for 1 second that he actually asked the patient for permission to do this. No shot. Not only that, this is just super childish and unprofessional for a trained surgeon to stop working mid-surgery so that they can film a video on their phone to own the Xbots. Like, I don't care what you say to me, that is unprofessional. Okay, that's also just really stupid because it's like, the Xbox fanboys aren't gonna care whether or not you're a trained surgeon. As long as you're making fun of Xbox, they're still gonna hate you, man. Like, they don't care. As long as you are making fun of Xbox, they're still gonna hate you, bro. And I know there's some people out there saying like, hey, so, he made a mistake here and yeah, it's bad, but he doesn't deserve to lose his job because think about it, he has a family and he's got to provide for them. And look, you got to put food on the table, you got to provide for your family. Understandable. Thing is, when you do something like this, where you dox a patient, potentially contaminate a surgery room, or just to own some people that you don't know on the internet, then yeah, you kinda don't deserve to have a job as a surgeon. Like, I don't agree with people review bombing the hospital that he works at, but I still think if you do this kind of thing, you should be fired. Like, you don't deserve to work at any hospital if you do this kind of thing. Not to mention, he hasn't even really made an actual apology, because in all of his apologies, he's basically tried to make excuses for himself, which, you know, is more of a non-apology than it is an apology. Now, for the rest of this video, I want to look at the video apology that he made, or specifically 2 minutes of it, because that's all I could really find after he deleted his YouTube channel. It's also important to note that when he made the apology, he turned off comments and disabled the like to dislike ratio, so, you know, always a good sign that this is going to be a very sincere apology. But anyway, let's get straight into it.
My main intention was absolutely little childish and foolish. I agree, we all make mistakes. We gotta learn from them and move on. I will be a better man, I'm a grown man.
You know what, so far a good start to this video. I actually agree that you should learn from your mistakes. That's what you're supposed to do. If only the video ended here.
I think this is getting blown out of proportion.
And we were off to such a good start, and then he fucked it. God damn it. Nothing here is being blown out of proportion. You literally stopped working mid-surgery, left the work to your colleagues, so you could film a video where you doxed yourself and a patient, just so that you could own some Xbots on Twitter. I don't think any of this is being blown out of proportion. Like, that's a pretty shitty thing to do.
And I don't think involving anyone's personal life or targeting them and slandering them so hard for all the people who barely know me, I don't think that is logical.
Mate, you are the last person that should be talking about logic here. You literally endangered your patient and doxed them and yourself just to own some Xbots on Twitter. I wonder, what part of that was logical?
I accept that what I did was a mistake, a little childish.
What you did was more than a little childish, considering you doxed a patient and could have potentially contaminated the surgery room. As well, if you were accepting your mistake, you wouldn't try and make excuses for it, as he's about to do in this video.
And bringing up consoles, instead of saying console wars, I say console passion. Instead of bringing that into context of the video of me in the OR was really not the right way to go ahead.
No shit, Sherlock. I should mention that the main problem here isn't that you made the video about console wars, it's that you filmed your patient's private information and shared it online, which you legally cannot share without written consent from the patient. As well, you brought your phone into the surgery room, which could have been potentially contaminated, and as such, contaminated the surgery room, which is bad. Also, not to mention, you should have been doing surgery, not filming. Also, can we just mention that him calling it console passion is just cringe?
But the thing is, I've been facing a lot of hatred against my race, religion, my country, and basically people doing so many assumptions. I don't understand why there is so much hatred against me, because I like gaming on certain consoles, which I've been doing since the past many years.
Because people don't usually respond well to console fanboys who put people down based on what system they play games on. Like, yeah, no shit, people are gonna hate on you if you're on the internet consistently acting like a console fanboy. Whoa. Shocker. Could I also just mention that it's actually pretty disgusting that he's trying to make this about his race. Like, bro, nobody cares what race you are. We just care that you did something wrong.
I have a wife, a kid who I love, a small boy.
Okay, but are people going after your family? No, they're not. People are just angry at you because you did a bad thing. Whoa, it's rocket science, I know.
And for me, if I say I do this on a daily basis in my professional level, I consider my patient inside the OR to the hero, to be the god. It is giving me the opportunity to save lives, and that matters to me the most, more than anything in life.
So why didn't that take priority over you arguing with somebody on Twitter? Just a little interesting question for you there.
Console passion and bringing this up was wrong from me, absolutely. I apologize for that, but I had to face so much of people talking behind my back, in front of me, clogging up my DMs, everywhere.
Have you ever considered deleting Twitter? I mean, seriously, bro, is an argument on Twitter really worth you risking your job and the safety of your patient? Like, bro, is it really that hard to just not do these kinds of things? Like, he clearly isn't sorry because he's still trying to defend what he's done. But anyway, that's really all I can do for this video, so I guess if you did enjoy, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, you know the drill. Subscribe to my second channel and follow me on Twitter. Please don't send any hate over to Shira Vera if he does create another account. It's really unneeded. But that's all for today's video, so until the next one, piss off.